Hi everyone, it's Kristine here with the Claremont County Public Library, and it's so good to see you today. Thanks for joining us for our science experiment of the day. Today we're going to be doing an experiment called Magic Milk. Some people call it Magic Milk Rainbow or Magic Milk Fireworks. Whatever you call it, it's a really neat experiment, one of my favorites, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And it's simple enough that you can do this at home. So let's get started. To do our experiment today, you're going to need a few items that you probably have around the house. You're going to need some sort of dish with a flat bottom and just a little bit of edges at least. I'm going to use a pie plate, a regular plate can work, a Tupperware container, as long as it has a flat bottom. That's the key. You're also going to need some milk. Whatever you have on hand is fine in the fridge. You're going to need some dish soap, some food coloring, and finally, you're going to need some Q-tips or cotton swabs, and that's it. So again, simple materials that you probably already have around the house. So now that we've gathered our materials, we're ready to get started. The first step is to pour some milk into your container so that it covers the bottom. You want to make sure the bottom is completely covered, but other than that, you just need a thin layer. So this shouldn't take a whole lot of milk. And once we have the bottom covered, we're ready to start adding our food coloring. Now, when you add your food coloring, you could do this a couple different ways. Some people add it so that it makes a nice straight line. Some people just put it all over, just in random spots. I'm gonna just do the random spots, but you can do it whichever way you would like. There's no right or wrong answer. You could try it a couple times and do it one time in a straight line, and you could try it again and do it in a random pattern. So it's up to you, whatever you want to try. The key though, you do want to make sure that you leave some white space. You do not want to have the whole top covered with food coloring. All right, so that's probably good. I think I got most of my colors. So now that we've got our food coloring added, we're ready for the real fun part. So I'm gonna take a Q-tip and I'm gonna just touch it down into the milk. When I do this, I wanna make sure I touch it in a spot that is white. I don't wanna touch it where there's food coloring. I just wanna touch it in a white spot. But before we do, let's make some predictions. All right, so I'm just gonna start with my plain Q-tip. And when I put that in, what do you think is gonna happen? Any guesses? Yeah, maybe. Those are great predictions, okay? So let's go ahead and try it. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Oh, wait a second. Nothing happened. Well, maybe I have a bad Q-tip. Let's try that again. I'm gonna try it with a different Q-tip this time. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Still nothing. I wonder, maybe if I try some of that dish soap that I had gotten out, maybe that will do something different. So I'm just gonna put a little dab, oops, I dripped some, a little dab of dish soap on the end of my Q-tip. And now I'm gonna try it. All right, what do you think? Can you make some more predictions? What do you think is gonna happen now that I have dish soap on the end of my Q-tip? Yeah, those are good predictions. Let's try it and find out. All right, are you ready? Watch close, here we go. Again, I'm gonna put it in a white spot. Whoa! Can you see that? It is like fireworks. Can you make some observations? What's happening? The food coloring's moving, very good. Which way is it moving? Is it moving towards the Q-tip or away from the Q-tip? Away, you're right. Did you see that when I pulled it out, how it continues to move? Let's try again another spot. Let's try over here. Again, same thing. It's moving away from the food color or from the Q-tip. Now, is it moving in a straight line? No, if you look, you can see it's moving in all different directions. kind of swirling around. And you can see it's pulling in different colors. What if I try it right in the middle? Oh, did you see that? That was pretty cool. And you can keep moving your Q-tip with soap around and make observations of how it looks, what colors you see. Now, one thing that you may notice, if you can see from where you're at, is as I continue to do this, it's still moving, but it's going a little bit slower. It's not going as fast as it was earlier. And you can kind of see too where we get that milk rainbow. It looks kind of like a rainbow after I'm done. Again, this is a great fun experiment. It's kind of like magic. But guess what? It is not magic at all. It is science. And science can be pretty cool and exciting. So let's talk about the science a little bit. What's going on? Why do you think this is happening? Do you have any ideas? Yeah, this one is a little bit tricky to explain. So let's start with the milk. For my experiment today, I used some 2% milk. Now, what's in milk? What can you tell me is in milk? What do you think? Yes, very good, calcium. I think we all know there's calcium in milk. That's why Mom and Dad tells us to drink our milk. It makes strong bones and teeth. What else? There's protein. That's important for those bones and your muscles as well. It makes strong muscles. Anything else that you can think of? Okay, so this last thing I want to mention, there's a lot of things in milk, but the last one I want to mention is kind of the key to our experiment today, and that is fat. Milk has fat. Now, the type of milk, I use 2%, that tells me about how much fat it has. It's got about 2% of the content is fat. So in the milk, there's these fat molecules that kind of look like little blobs. And what happens when we add our dish soap is the soap acts like a hammer, and it comes in and it starts to try and break apart those big fat molecules into smaller ones. And it tries to make teeny tiny little fat drops. And then once it's broken it down into little drops, that soap chases the fat drops around, or fat molecules, trying to catch them. It wants to catch all of those fat molecules. And that's what we see. When we don't add food coloring, it still happens when we add soap to milk, but we can't see it. When we put the food coloring in, it allows us to see it. As those soap molecules chase the fat molecules around, it's like it bumps into the food coloring molecules and it makes them spread all around. And that's what we're seeing. That's why they move in all directions. They don't always run in a straight line. They kind of run all different directions trying to get away from the soap. Pretty cool, huh? Well, if you liked this, you can try this at home and see it for yourself. And if you want to kind of investigate a little bit further, there's a lot of things that you could do. For instance, I said I use 2% milk. But I wonder, there's different kinds of milk. You can get skim, 1% whole milk. Would those do the same thing? Would they have the same effect? Would they move the same way? I don't know. Or maybe you can't have dairy, so you have almond or soy milk. How's that gonna work? I don't know. Those would be great things for you to try at home. Also, we call it magic milk, but would it work with something else besides milk? Do you think water would work? Or maybe, I've got some Sprite. It's got bubbles in it. Maybe that would have a fun effect. Maybe the bubbles would make it go faster, or maybe they would make it fizz. I don't know. I think those would be some great things for you to try at home. A final thing you could try is the soap. So today we use dish soap. There's lots of different kinds of soap though. There's bar soap, there's hand soap, there's even the kind that's in the pump that foams. How would those affect this experiment? Would they have the same effect? These are all great questions that you can explore on your own at home. And maybe you can even come up with some other things to try and investigate. So I encourage you to go and try these and then share with us what you did and how it worked. What were your results? You can also take a picture of your magic milk and send with us or share with us. Thanks for watching. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye.